Hi guys, it's been a while. So today, instead of a vlog, I just wanted to show a crucial part of my education, like a crucial device that I use. It would be my iPad. It's the iPad Pro. I got it back in 2018 and honestly, it's been a lifesaver for me. So why I use an iPad is because being an international student and traveling a lot, it became very inconvenient and not feasible for me to bring all my revision materials with me whenever I fly around, including like heavy textbooks and stuff. So using the iPad system also allowed me to get the best of both worlds in terms of traditional and digital note-taking. The iPad allows me to easily import all my online material like slides and readings, and because of the Apple Pencil, you can also handwrite all your notes, so you don't have to give up that memorization perk of handwriting your notes. Converting to an iPad has also made my life so much simpler because I never have to worry about forgetting anything for a class. All my material is saved onto my iPad, so I won't have that worry of forgetting something important that I need to show my lecturer, professor, or anything like that. So it's really just very convenient, and although it's expensive, it has helped me so much in terms of traveling, education, that honestly, I think it's really worth it. There's a few tools and accessories that I like to use in combination with my iPad to maximize the functions of my iPad, and one of this is the Logitech keyboard K380. It has 3 different device syncing, so I actually sync this up to my laptop, my iPad, as well as my phone. I rarely ever use it on my phone, but especially when I have my laptop on a stand, it becomes really convenient to have a keyboard that syncs to both your computer and your iPad, and this keyboard also switches really easily, so it's really good in that function. And don't you think this color is just so beautiful? Honestly, I didn't have many special requirements for our iPad case. This was one I randomly got off Amazon, but the main reason why I got this out of all the others was one, because it's black, it's easy to take care of, and two, because of this tree-fold system that allows you to stand your iPad in different ways once you fold it. So I wanted a case that could fold in a way that my iPad would be slightly elevated at an angle, so when I write, my wrist would be more comfortable and so would my neck. And rather than getting one of those iPad stands, I decided it was better for my case to perform this function, as I had to consider portability issues. Like, if the stand wasn't very portable, it would be difficult to bring it to lectures and tutorials with me. So that was one of my main considerations. So once you open my iPad, it basically just opens up to this page of apps that I somewhat color coordinate. And I have iBooks here, which I mainly just keep Chinese web novels that I have downloaded onto my phone and my iPad, so that I can read them both. And then I have YouTube Creator Studio, which I use, and YouTube, of course. So YouTube's self-explanatory, we all use YouTube, otherwise you wouldn't be seeing this right now. There's a lot that I like to watch in general. I also have my Gmail, but that's synced up to my school email, my personal email, and a society email, so it's not very convenient to show you as there's some confidential stuff, but Gmail is an app that I use very often. I also have iCalendar, which is synced with my university calendar, which lets me know when I have all my classes, and when there's any change in my classes, it automatically updates so I know where to be at all times. I also have settings, and this iQIYI app. It's basically a China entertainment app which has a lot of variety shows and dramas that I actually follow up with. I used to have the subscription to this so that there would be no ads and I could download shows, but I just haven't been using it as much, so I stopped my subscription. But there's still a lot to watch. And then I have Google Drive. I think Google Drive is a very important app for almost all students, and all students use it, especially for group work. I keep my dashboard open at all times just so it's easy to see as well. And then next I have photos. I use this mainly to store photos like my thumbnail photos or photos I have to use in my notes when I'm writing notes for classes or even doing slides sometimes. And then I use Telegram as my main messaging app, and I also have the App Store. This is a new app I downloaded recently called Canva. It was introduced to me by a friend, and basically it allows you to do a lot of cool edits for either social media purposes or presentations or even name cards, and it's quite unique, honestly. I quite like the designs, and it saves you a lot of trouble in finding copyright-free images to use, as they have certain settings and illustrations in the app itself. And I also have Lightroom. This is what I mainly use to edit my photos that I take and I want to use as my thumbnail. So just editing things like exposure, contrast, and simple things like that just to make the picture pop out a bit more. There's also like color, where I don't really change, and then details as well. You can just change it up. There's a lot to do in Lightroom. And I used to have Procreate. Procreate is what I use more for like the wordings on my images for my thumbnails, and sometimes I draw on this app, but I'm not very much of a like digital artist, I would say. I like to do these wordings on Procreate, and I'm still playing around, honestly. I'm quite new to Procreate in general, but I'm having fun and it's quite a learning experience. It's good. And then I have a second page of just folders of apps that are honestly kind of messy and I don't use that much, or it's linked to other apps. So in my little tools, I use emojis as my group page titles, and under tools I just kind of have some of the original Apple apps, or like apps I don't use very often. I have like VPN to use in China whenever I'm there, so that I can still access things like Google. And then under the computer emoji, I just have things that I have on my computer and also on my iPad that I don't really use. And then camera is just, I used to like to take photos on my and then under the video file, I have things like Videoleap and VLO that I used to edit on my iPad, but I don't really do that anymore. And then this is an X file of apps that I just never open, and it's mostly the iPad original apps. And then under my art palette, there's this sketchbook app that I used to use before I decided to buy Procreate, and honestly it's quite good. It's just a bit more simple. And then under music, I have things like GarageBand, Podcasts, Apple Music, and Spotify. I do have a subscription for Spotify, but I'm thinking of cancelling it because I recently switched over to SoundCloud. And I just haven't been using this as much, but I do really like my playlists. I also really like these photos that I use. These are all my playlist photos, are actually my own photos that I took on a disposable camera, so I really like those. And then last, I have a pile of books, which basically just means these are apps I use for school, and it's things like Google Docs, Google Files, like Sheets, presentation. I also have GoodNotes, which I know a lot of people on the study community really, really rave about it, but it just isn't my style of like note-taking, and it just doesn't really work for me, and I get very frustrated whenever I use this. So I basically just tried out different things, and I was like, it's not for me. So under this homeboard, I basically have the apps I use the most often. One of these are SoundCloud. And SoundCloud, it's basically just me on SoundCloud weekly, because I think SoundCloud does really good mixes, and I'm always really pleased with my weekly mix. It's a lot of new artists that I can just listen and vibe with whenever I'm studying, commuting, things like that. I just really like SoundCloud. And then I also have Notability. Notability, on the other hand, I really, really, really love. It's something about the way it's organized and the way I can see everything all at once really, really works for me. And like just having all my modules here, I have my 5 modules, and then it's sorted out by the different teaching blocks. So I have my few teaching blocks of the year, and all my notes and slides are in that. And I also organize it by lectures. So I kind of go like teaching block 1, lecture 1, reading, something like that, to organize out all my materials. And it's just really, really worked for me, and I really love Notability, honestly. I've also used this for a lot of other things. Like when I did a summer program in China, I actually downloaded like notes from my cousin's course, which she did economics for a period, and also like textbooks that I needed, reading that I needed, and also slides from that lecture. And also I like to do my edits for essays on Notability, just because I can write and annotate exactly where I want it. Word does that, but it's just not as good a view. And then I have Chrome. Chrome is also really important for me because I usually have to take pictures off the web when I'm trying to write notes, like some graphics that I might need, because I study psychology and sometimes I don't want to draw a brain every time I'm doing my notes. Yep, and that's all. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you want more videos like this. And yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day ahead and stay safe.